Hello, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Ticket to Life. This is Henry, and I hope that your morning, afternoon, or evening is a stupendous one. So, talking about today, what men want in a woman. And in general, men who want a man are seeking just about the same thing as a man wanting a woman. So since I know more about a man wanting a woman and you are a man looking for a man, perhaps this might help you in what you are seeking. Whew. Now that was a mouthful, and that's no pun intended. My mind lives in the gutter sometimes, just like everyone else's. So let's move on from here. I hope everyone has had a great past week. And the disclaimer for Ticket to Life is everything on this podcast are my opinions and my thoughts. And if you agree, great. And if you don't agree, great. We all have our own opinions and thoughts, but don't like to share the way we feel or what we're thinking. But I do. That's just me. And that's why I have Ticket to Life, so I can share my thoughts and my opinions with you. I am not a life coach. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist or a love guru. Again, these are just my thoughts and my opinions. So this is going to be like a 2, maybe 3-part series of what men want. This week I'm doing what men want. And next week, ladies, it's what women want. So I thought that would kind of be something important because last week I mentioned relationships because a lot of people are looking for love. There's that song, Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places. Well, sometimes we do. And I'm going to share a story with you about that in a little bit. But sometimes, we're just ready to fall in love and we'll just dive into anything. And you know who I'm talking about because we've all done it at one time or the other. But before I get into that, I just wanted to say, if any of you saw the Bears game against the Rams last night or the other night? Oh my gosh, it was so good. And God bless all those players. It was freezing. It was freezing in Chicago. But I really wanted the Bears to win. I really did. It was that those of you listening, if you don't watch it, let me just go wash your hands or something for now. But anyway, Caleb Williams is an amazing quarterback, and he threw a ball, and it was one of those like miracle throws. I mean, it was amazing. But again, they were calling it the miraculous touchdown. I mean, okay, just real quick, and then I won't bore you with football anymore. So they're like on the 25-yard line to get their fourth down. And so he tosses the ball. Okay, not toss, throws. I mean, they're coming after Caleb, and then all of a sudden he starts running back. It's like near the 50-yard line, throws the ball, and Komet catches it in the end zone and scores. It was amazing. It was so cool. It was like one of those things. I mean, the crowd went wild, but yet I was still so sad that they lost. I really wanted the Bears, but you know what? Bears, there's next year. And then they interview Caleb Williams, and they're saying, "Oh, that was an amazing throw," and blah blah blah. And he goes, "Yeah, it was good at the moment." And being humble, he starts thanking the team and everyone else. And I just thought, now there's a good guy right there. Thanking everyone. Didn't take like, look at what I did, even though we lost. He was so humble. It was just an amazing. So if you have a chance, go YouTube it or something and look at it. It was just, football's just fun. So anyway, now let's talk about what men want in a woman. Now I know that we all want to be loved by someone. If not by our parents or our kids, friends, but most of all, we want to be in love. Now, there's 2 different types of love, right? Family, friends, platonic, but to be in love. So what does that feel like to be in love? If you have ever been in love, you know that feeling. It's like, it's just amazing. Well, some might say it feels like the 4th of July and may want a hot dog really bad. Just kidding. That's a line from Legally Blonde too. I always thought it was funny. It's Jennifer Coolidge character Paulette was talking to Elle about her outfit. But I will ask, have you ever had that perfect outfit and you feel like, oh, I feel like the 4th of July? Well, I have. And sometimes feeling that good is almost feeling being loved. And you just have this great feeling about where you're at in life. Well, that's what it may feel when you find her. And some of you may really not even have ever known that. You may not. I mean, some of us are young and we've dated and had fun, but we've never been in love. And that's a feeling. It's where you can't see enough of that person. You can't be enough with that person. You can't feel that person enough. You wake up just thinking about her. Yet, if you have been burned in another relationship, you may be a little apprehensive to even think about looking for someone. Been there, done that, right? I was actually surprised when I did my little research on this that one of the main things that men didn't say was one of the number one things that I thought would be is the way the woman looks. Model material, or maybe not. Maybe you like a little meat on your woman. Apparently my husband does. But of course, it is important. Not sure if my husband would have even taken a second thought if I had a third eye. So appearance is important, ladies. Also, not sure if I hadn't bathed in over a week or showed up in my PJs, and not sure he would have even spoken to me. Remember, you only make that first appearance once. That first impression once is what I mean to say. Oh, and appearance, because they're going to remember what you were wearing the first time you met. And now we have all these dating options of different types of online dating. I mean, they're out there. I mean, you can meet anyone, anywhere in the U.S., but be careful of the scammers, men, because there are women out there who will scam you just like a man will scam a woman. And yes, I have several episodes from my first year of doing this on a friend who was scammed. But anyway, just remember, it's very important. And sometimes people are lost for words because I mean, for me, if there's a crowd of people, do you just go, hey, I'm Henry and blah, no, I don't, it's awkward for some. So please talk about you when you meet someone. Don't talk about your last, person you were dating, or unless they ask, but don't get into all the details. Just a little bit. And if you don't want to talk about it, guess what? You don't have to. You just say, you know what? I really don't want to talk about that now. Let's talk about you and find out a little bit more about that person. Dating is hard. It was hard back in the 70s and the 80s. I can't even imagine what it's like now. But there are 5 C's of dating, and there are different types. So this is what I have. If you Google, you'll find them. But the 5 C's of dating are to even start a relationship. They are my favorite, and I always feel that it is most important in any relationship. You hear about this if you are avid listener of Ticket to Life. The main thing you have to have in a relationship, in my opinion, is communication. Oh, you got to be able to talk to these people and express how you're feeling, what you're thinking. It's so stinking important and you need to be able to compromise. That's the other C. Well, actually, I think I have more than the 5 C's. I think I have 6. But anyway, being able to compromise. If communication, compromise. And if you have been in a single for a while, this may be very hard for you. But if you are interested, you can work on it. You need to be able to compromise because you're used to doing things your way and no one else is. Having that compatibility, just having some core values. Tell them what your life goals are, your needs. Having that chemistry. Something nice. Having something in common such as football. You love football. You love soccer. You love, I don't know, knitting. Because yes, there are men who love to knit. And don't start thinking about that you have to change for this person. That's the compromise, that we can change, but we can change our whole life goals for someone, but only if you want to. Don't do it because you feel obligated. You got to do it because you want to. And this is early in the relationship. You may need that obligation later on if you're together for 42 years. Now, there's always the conflict of resolution. That's another one. And what does that mean? Peacefully resolving a disagreement, not yelling. And yes, I always say it's good to argue, but I don't. Yeah, when I was younger, I probably argued all the time and raised my voice and threw tantrums, but I don't anymore. and do it peacefully. And if you need a moment, walk away from it. Say, you know what? Let me cool down. I need to chill right now because I don't want to say anything that I'm going to regret. And I don't want you to say anything that you're going to regret. And guess what? You're an adult. You can do these things. Do it peacefully, like I said. And it is possible. And if you have been single for a while, this might be hard too, because it is hard to change the way you are. Like the way you will have to communicate, the way you will have to resolve a conflict, the way you will have to change your way of thinking. And it's just, again, you have to change some things. I mean, compatibility. I mean, if you're dressed, I think it's always funny because this is what I say about relationships. When people are really trying in a relationship at the beginning, and this is men and women, and I will mention this next week when we're talking about women wanting what they want in men, but you notice they work really hard to look good and to do their best to take them places and things. And as they get really comfortable, all that kind of subsides. I'm just thankful my husband doesn't mind me wearing sweatpants and sweatshirts all the time. Not sure if he thinks that's sexy, but he still likes me around. But anyway, and it is. Then all of a sudden it changes. And you stop making that effort to go out. You stop making that effort to say those sweet things. And this goes for both. Then all of a sudden it just kind of gets too comfortable. My husband and I try not to get too comfortable. We do like random. We just went to another little concert a couple of weeks ago. Just little things that just, for yourself, for the couple, you have to be able to work on that. And this is what I always say. That's what I was going to go there, but I went somewhere else as usual. But I always told my daughter, and I tell my friends when they're dating, and for me, when he got the prize, he didn't need to try anymore. Because we are prizes. We are such gifts in a relationship, both men and women. Especially when you choose to spend the rest of your life together. So that's why you need to keep a little, and I'm not saying we can go into a whole sex deal, but no, just keeping the simplicity of what got you to fall in love with that person. Because more than likely, it was that they did like to communicate, that you felt that compatibility. Oh, you had to resolve a conflict, and you did. And it's okay. So my next one is, back to the conflict resolution. If you have been single, like I said, it is kind of hard. But make sure to be open-minded and looking at both perspectives, yours and theirs, because that's really important, knowing their emotions and your emotions. And like I said, take a deep breath and try to focus on understanding. If you can do that, then if you want this relationship to work, then you'll work at it. But compassion is the next one. And that's an understanding and trying just to respond with kindness, support, empathy, joy of making them feel safe, sharing what they are going through. And another thing is commitment, but I'm going to get to commitment in a minute. Some men need empathy. They just want you to say, I'm here for you. And then at some point, a woman sometimes, as myself, you know what? I'm okay. Just give me a few. And then she may come back and say, okay, I need that hug now. Because sometimes they need to process. We need to process, just like Amanda's. We need to process what we're thinking and then be able to get that hug or that kiss or that comfort and just say, just listen. Guys, just listen. Listen to what they're going through and pretend to listen. If you're not going to listen, just at least pretend. But she may question, did you hear what I said? So do your best. Listening, communication, so important. But now we'll go to commitment. So I have 6 things. Sorry about that. I really did mess up with your mind when I said 5 C's. There's 6 C's on my list, and one of them is commitment. And that is sharing your future. And commitment to so many people is such a scary word. Wait, that means I will never be with another woman if I commit myself. I'm not sure if I want to do that. If you question that, then no, don't do that to the woman you are telling that you love. If you cannot commit to just to be that one person, to be there in the good, the bad, and the ugly times, then don't. Because, first of all, commitment is scary, but being in a relationship can be scary too. And why do I say that? Because it's true. You don't know what's going to happen in your future. We just don't. And it does take work for this, for the man and the woman. And if you think that you can work with the 6 C's that I mentioned, then you're on your way to getting into a good relationship. And here they are again: communication, compatibility, conflict of resolution, compassion, and commitment. And what was my other one? Did I say compromising? Yeah, it was compromising. Compassion and compromising. Okay, so now that I've really messed with your heads, communication, compatibility, conflict resolution, compassion, compromise, and commitment, but not in that order. But those are things that I think that are really, 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 really important in any relationship if you're trying to get there. So men that are listening, and you can add to the list of what you are looking for to send me and text me. And I would love to share it with women. And don't hesitate. Don't freak out and say, oh, I don't want to start anything. Look, I will respond and say thank you. I won't start texting you randomly, but you can send a text to me on description of the podcast. It says, text me. Can't wait to hear from you. Or you can send me an email at tickettolife022@gmail.com. And I don't even have your number to text back. All I receive is a number, not a phone number, just a number. It's like an assigned number. And I will not mention your name. If your name's Joe Blow, I will not say it's Joe Blow. So if you hear JB on there, I'm reading your letter or your comment. But sometimes men think that women know what he's thinking. But women, I will tell you, and this will be next week, women a lot of times think that men know, and they don't know. Men cannot read women as well as women can read women. And that's for next week. But again, these are just my opinions. The other thing, men, if you're a player, and by a player, and for those of you who do not know what a player is, it is a person, a man, or a woman that is someone who is a jerk. That's what a player is. A person who will emotionally manipulate and deceive the person that they are with in a relationship or relationships with, usually multiple people that they are dating all at the same time and getting what they want. And For some, just a boost to it's just a boost for their ego. And usually somebody's going to find out. And ladies, if you find out that you are dating a player, don't go after the woman. You need to go after the man. You need to say, we are done and done, because you are not worth getting into trouble with another woman, because you know what? She's going to know one side and you're going to know your side, but he's not sharing his side. So again, if you think that your guy is a player, men, you should not be players. Shame on you. And a heartbreak is very hard. And some women find out that they are being played and their partner heart breaks their heart, and they could care less, because guess what? They have someone else. And they're usually someone who has charm, and they tell you everything you want to hear. False promises, like you're the only one for me, lies and more lies, and unbelievable that people do this. And this week, the shame on you is all of you players that get away with this. Yes, we are all adults, and when you are looking for a special relationship, we let our guard down, and you don't care about those 6 C's. You just want that someone. Be sure to get to know that person, because it's so important not to meet them and think I'm in love. Get to know them. Find out the facts, guys. Watch your back, guys. Be wise about it. Because this is really horrible that I have to say this, but this is what some people do. So the shame on you this week again goes to all of you who are players. And I mean, it's just sad. You know, some people think that you should date someone or know someone up to 3 years or a few months or a full year to see how and that's honestly, I think you need to know someone at least a year, if not longer. There's not really a magic number to how many years you should know someone, but it's very important to know something about that person and their background. And seriously, do not hesitate to ask questions. Men, ask them. If you have a question, ask. I mean, you're not going to find anything out. And this is where the whole communication thing comes in. So again, I would get to know people, get to know who you're dating. I mean, seriously, a year would be great, because you can be with them on holidays and see how everyone handles stress and their families and their friends. But be very, very suspicious when they start asking you if you have life insurance. Okay, that's just too much Dateline. Sorry, let me get back. Well, again, we all deserve to be happy with someone, but some people are just happy being alone. And I think that's great. They don't need a man in their life. They don't need a woman in their life. All they need is their fish, their dog, their cat, or nothing. And they're happy. They love getting up in the morning, going to work. And I think that's great for some people. I really do. But if you really truly are looking for that someone special, you might want to think what you really want, as like to say, just don't settle. Look for someone that you find some of these qualities, some qualities that you're looking for, someone that just gets you and understands you. And don't start the relationship with lies to try to impress. And don't try to impress. Just let people love you for who you are. Now, again, next week, it will be the ladies' turn to see what women want. And some of these things will probably be on there too, like my 5, 6 C's. But I have to share, I did meet a young lady last week, and she was probably in her early 30s. Yeah, I'm thinking early 30s. And she said that she had given up on trying to find someone. I don't even know why she told me this, but she did. And then said, I always seem to meet the bad boys. and they break my heart. Well, then I chuckled and I said, yes, but they can be fun. And she smiled and said, no, I'm done. So my ticket to life advice was, I am not sure if you believe in God, but if you do, all you have to do is ask him to send someone good in your life. She smiled and I said, I haven't done that. Maybe I should just stop looking. And I said, yes. I told her, just ask and leave it in God's hands, and you might be surprised. So for all of you looking, I will send a prayer out there for you. And the best advice I do have is when we have faith and believe in God and ask God and just leave it with Jesus. Say, you might be surprised. If you can just leave it, forget it, move on, you might be surprised at your answer. Now, of course, you might not get an answer right away or the answer you were expecting, but be patient. And you may go through tough times, happy times, sad times, and even bad times. But in time, you will see why you went through some of these things in life. But in the end, I believe you will come out shining. Remember, don't live in the past. Don't live in past relationships. Get into a relationship and make it a fresh start. Live in the now. And it is never too late. It's never too late to find someone special. And it's never too late to believe in God. He's waiting for you, and it doesn't matter where you are in life. God will be there waiting to welcome you to a new life. So next week, let's see the other side of what women want. And it's time to say goodbye, but just until next week, thanks for spending time with me, and I will see you next week, and I will send prayers your way, and God will be there for you. So please, please, please go find your blessings, and until next week, this is Henry. Take care of yourself.